And we are live on the WyoNation Roundup, here talking some Wyoming football. And Brad Reed is here tonight with me. How you doing, Brad?
It's another Monday, so we got Josh Allen on the TV over here having a horrible night. So that's not great. But it's wonderful, Chad.
Okay. So very good. Happy to see everybody. And tonight we have a little Q&A for you. We've got some questions from you of the WyoNation, asking your questions to us about this football team and this football season. And so we'll just wrap up a few things, some leftovers from Saturday, Brad, as Wyoming moved to 2-0 on the season with a rather meh 31-17 win over Portland State. But I do have a couple quotes here from Coach Bull. And actually, people said that he was seemed pretty pissed off, at least in the TV portion of the broadcast, I guess. At the end, he was kind of terse. But in the actual full press conference, he was in a rather good mood. So I find that interesting. But here are kind of the highlights that I took away from that. Press conference, he said that he's got to coach better and they got to play better.
Seems like stuff he says a lot.
Very good. No, but he's just taking ownership, right? And a lot of coaches won't. So he's taking ownership, saying, hey, that wasn't our best game. And he said he told the team that, hey, I coached at the FCS level for a long time. And he said the difference these days between FCS and FBS is not much. I don't know if I believe that full-heartedly, but...
Well, I mean, you saw what Idaho did to Nevada this past weekend. You did see that,
Vandals, yes. The Fighting Vandals.
They beat the piss out of Nevada, like 31-6.
Well, Nevada must be very bad.
Nevada is very bad.
But we'll see.
Then I saw Southern Illinois take it to Northern Illinois, too. So maybe that gap is closing.
Oh, did they?
Yes. Well, not take it to them, but beat them by enough.
Okay. I was like, I didn't hear that. So they didn't beat them. All right. And then fumbles, right? So now Wyoming has 3 fumbles on the season in 2 games. And Craig Bowles said that he contributes that to him not putting the team through enough full contact drills. And he insinuated that they didn't do a lot of that leading up to the opener against Texas Tech because they were afraid of getting beat up, which makes sense as well. But, right, football is a weird sport, or it's different from a lot of other sports. The only way to practice football is to play football. Practice is practice. You can't really simulate, right, at any level what a full spread game is, especially against a Power 5 opponent.
Yeah, watching the Cowboys on Saturday, you can tell that they may have their 3 fumbles on the season, but you can tell they practice trying to cause turnovers. They got at least a couple, just punch outs of Portland State ball carriers. Got them to put the ball on the ground, and just they got to rough up their own running backs a little bit, I guess, to keep the ball in their hands.
Sure. So, yeah, and then the big news. I tried to find it today, the press conference, but for whatever reason, UW is really off the ball this year. They don't have the press conference from Saturday posted yet. I had to go to the Mountain West website. So thank you to, let's see if I get the name. One of the guys on Twitter told me, hey, go to the Mountain West website. They have the press conference up.
Yeah, I didn't see a link for their Monday press conference either.
Yeah, and it hasn't been up. So, but the Mountain West had the post-game press conference I was able to watch, but I wasn't able to find the press conference from earlier today. And that just means I may have to just start calling in, which is fine. I used to call in and listen. And we can do that again and do some live reporting. But the big news is Harrison Whaley will be, in Bowles' words, will have a big part in the game plan in Texas. So he will be playing, and they'll see how he practices this week to see how many carries he's going to get.
I think that's good news.
It is good news, of course, right? So he's our projected number 1 running back, an experienced player. Maybe this week I'll do a little digging into his game logs to see how he has performed when he was are they the Huskies? When he was a Northern Illinois Husky. And
we saw him in person even.
How he did against Power 5 opponents.
Yeah.
So that might be a good little thing here. And someone's telling me that the feed's not working.
Uh-oh.
I think it is, though.
Did you hit the record button, Chad?
It is. We are definitely recording. We have somebody, I see a viewer there. If you are a viewer, if you're on YouTube, please, obviously you can see us. But if we're having some technical stuff, I don't know what we can really do about that, but let me try to see what's going on here. Little live on air IT.
Man, I hope one of us does IT work for a living.
Yeah, that'd be nice, huh? It seems to be working. Yeah, 100%. It's working. I just saw us on live. It's a little delayed, obviously. but it is working. So welcome all. If you're having problems, try YouTube. I think Twitter is probably not the best. If you go to YouTube and you go at WyoNation, that is our handle on YouTube. You will get to this live stream and you'll be able to. It's the only place where our streaming platform allows you to interact with us. So you can send chats in and we can show those on the screen and we can answer your questions live. So if
And
you
while
are
you're
watching
there,
on
hit the
Twitter,
subscribe
get to
button
YouTube.
too.
Yes, and hit the subscribe button. I think this is a young channel, but we're getting subscribers. So yeah, and hit that subscribe button and you'll get and turn on your alerts. And when we go on the air, you will get to know when we will be on. But I think we've decided on that the WyoNation Roundup is pretty much going to be on Monday nights. So you can kind of pencil that in.
It's a good time for it.
Yeah. Monday nights, probably between 8 and 9 o'clock is when we'll start, depending on either of our schedules and what we got going on. But yeah, so the WyoNation Roundup most certainly will probably be on Mondays, except for maybe when the Broncos play on Monday night.
We'll see how the season goes.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah, let's see. Let's not make any promises.
When Russ starts cooking hot dog water again, we'll rethink our Monday schedules.
All right, now before we look forward and start talking about Texas, guess what arrived in the mail for me today, Mr. Brad?
I've got a couple of guesses. Can't really say them on air, but let's go with it. What do you got?
Well, here we go.
There you
A
go.
brand new breaking tee. Take them to the deep end of the pool, Wyoming shirt, which I have seen other people on Twitter were showing pictures of their shirt. So
That's
they are
awesome.
arriving from the breaking tee. And again, so this is a breaking tee and WyoNation collaboration. And I think I saw a code that they're on sale again this week, 10 or 15%. I'll look for that and I'll tweet that out. But if you haven't got your shirt, we want to see a lot of these at the Appalachian State game. And I know a lot of people said, yeah, they're tracking or is saying that theirs is coming. But I saw some people tweeting to me their pictures of their shirts. So they are on their way. And
it's pretty sweet.
It is. It's fun that, as I said, it was like 12:30 at night after the game. I was like, hey, breaking tee, this might be a pretty cool shirt. And then the next morning, they were in my DM saying, hey, let's do this.
So, sliding into your DMs.
A lot of thanks to Breaking Tee and to everybody out there for supporting this Wyoming shirt. And this is their third one.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Josh Allen shirt, which I do own. Stats are for losers. And then they have the Wyoming basketball one with the Bench Boys, which is still available. Boys. So you can go onto their website and still get that. The Josh Allen one is long gone. But the Bench Boys, you can still buy that one. And then obviously this one.
Mm-hmm.
So there we are there. Okay, so right, the big thing we're here to talk about is Wyoming will be traveling to Austin, Texas, Saturday night to take on the number 4 Texas Longhorns.
They moved up the polls a lot this week, and probably deservedly so.
I don't know. Is beating Alabama in Alabama a thing? Is that good?
I mean, it's okay.
Is it all right? Is that an okay road win?
Yeah,
are there better road wins? Probably not. That's probably about
Georgia,
the best road win you can get. Unless you're going to beat like at Ohio State or at Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, at Tuscaloosa, Texas got the job done.
In Texas, once they kind of got Alabama beat down, they just went for it and just kept on scoring. It was, I haven't looked at any stats, but I can't imagine that Nick Saban's taken too many beatings that badly over the course of his Alabama career.
Probably not. Okay, so just a little recap here. Texas will be entering this game 2-0 on the season. They open up the season with a 37-10 victory over Rice, and then followed that up with a 34-24 win at Alabama. They will be playing Wyoming this week, obviously, and then, right, The week after they were playing at Baylor. So not like I was kind of wishing maybe it'd be a bigger game, so they might be overlooking us. But
yeah, and Baylor, they kind of took one on the chin this week at Utah, losing in the last few minutes of that game. So
sure.
or home against Utah, I should say.
And then this is stupid. I should know the answer to this question. I wasn't watching. How did Texas Tech and Oregon end up?
Oregon pulled away.
Okay. I know Texas Tech was hanging in there. It was a close game.
They were. Oregon ended up pulling away.
Okay.
I was really looking forward to doing, the transitive property thing where
exactly. I know that's where I was going.
Is Wyoming better than Oregon? But
yeah.
Texas Tech kind of threw a wrench into that.
All right. Looking at my notes here. Here's some other stuff that I came up with. Now, a lot of you may be asking, how the heck are we going to watch this game on Saturday night with it being exclusively on the Longhorn Network? And it's going to be pretty painful, folks, considering my research. So here's the research I've done. It may not be too comprehensive, but I've seen 2 or 3 websites saying the same thing. So I trust this information. Basically, the only major carriers who have the Longhorn Network include AT&T, Charter, Cox, DirecTV, Dish, and Verizon Fios. If you have one of those carriers as your cable, probably with the sports package added on, you can get the Longhorn Network. Otherwise, it's not looking good because it's not part of ESPN Plus or Watch ESPN. So
I was actually just doing a quick check of ESPN Plus to see.
Trust me, I checked it all. So it's not on there. So you can't stream it on ESPN3 or ESPN Plus or Watch ESPN. That's a no-go.
It's not part of Hulu Live, is it either?
Nope, and it's not part of Hulu Live.
Oh my God.
There's only 2 streaming platforms that have the Longhorn Network. So this is probably your best bet if you're not on Charter or Cox. But I think a big part of Wyoming is on Cox and Charter.
Charter, well, Spectrum, but yeah.
Spectrum, yeah, Charter Spectrum. So you may be okay there. Hulu doesn't have it. There's only 2. So get your notes out. There's only 2 streaming services that you can sign up for right now and get the Longhorn Network. And that first one is Sling TV, which is pretty well known. And then something called, and I've heard of this in the past, and apparently they're a lot bigger now, Vidgo. Vidgo. Now, the bad news is with Sling and Vidgo, they do not offer a free trial of any sort. It's all right. That's the game I played in the past. You would sign up for a free trial for one of these streaming services, watch the game you want to watch, cancel, and you're good. But basically now, none of the streaming services are offering even a 7 or 3-day trial. But you can sign up for Sling and Vidgo and get a month for like 50% off, which might set you back about $20. It's probably your best bet. It's just if you really want to watch the game and you don't have it on your cable, you can do the streaming, but it's going to cost you $20.
And make sure you hit that cancel button as soon as the game is over.
Exactly.
So your credit card.
So I will tweet this out as a public announcement, or maybe even put a quick blog together on how to do that. Or your best bet maybe just go to a sports bar.
Or if you're Reddit savvy, just look for CFB streams and see what happens.
Okay, I think you went too far there.
I'm just saying there's information on the internet that where you can find out.
There's information on the internet, and Reddit, wink, wink, nod, nod, might be the best place for you to look for such things.
If one wanted to go look for it, they could find it.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about because, right, our fan base isn't the most tech savvy, if you know what I mean. No comment? Okay. He's going to leave me hanging.
They're on Facebook.
They are. That's true. They won't watch this stream, so don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Because you refuse to let us add the Facebook streaming. So if you're upset about us not being on Facebook, it's Brad's fault.
Facts.
But if you want us on Facebook, complain enough, and maybe I can convince Brad to
give up my password. Exactly. That's what I'd love to do.
Put in the work so we can actually get that connected.
Yeah.
Okay. So moral of the story here is, unless you have AT&T, Charter Spectrum, Cox, DirecTV, or Dish, you're going to have to do some work to find this football game. So sports bar is probably going to be your best bet, or some dark alley in the internet. All right.
You can see why Texas wants to get out of the Big 12 and go somewhere else, right? Like stuff like this, where you're banished to your own cable network.
Well, it's the cable network they wanted.
Yeah, how's that going for them? Nobody watches.
I know. I mean, they've destroyed the Big 12 multiple times because of this same very issue.
It's almost as bad as BYU TV.
So now they're fleeing the Big 12, which is hilarious.
At least when Wyoming is on a stupid app, it's easy to go and find the Mountain West app on your Roku and watch the game, or go to the Mountain West website and watch it. Yeah. This is just absurd. This is third world country stuff from Texas.
All right. Quick little things before we get into our Q&A. Oddshark. I'm just pulling them up because they're a good resource. They have their computer model. They have the line. So the line actually started it out at Texas by 26.5. That has been bet up to 28. I've seen as high as 28.5. I think
I saw 28.5 earlier today.
But the live line right now, or the consensus line, right? It's like the average of all the sports books, is minus 28 for Texas. But this Oddshark computer model is the weirdest thing. So as we discussed, they projected Wyoming to beat Texas Tech.
Okay.
But then the next week, the model had Portland State beating Wyoming. Mm-hmm. And now the model has Wyoming losing by 2 points on the road to number 4 Texas, 37-35. How Wyoming scores 35 points against Texas is beyond me, but the Oddshark model says 37-35.
Quinn Ewers throws 2 pick sixes.
Maybe.
Honestly, if we lose by 2 to Texas in Austin, that may honestly be worth burning a couch over.
It might be, yeah. We might have to go full West Virginia. Full-blown West Virginia.
Yeah.
All right, a little history in this matchup. This will be the 4th time these teams have played. Mm-hmm. Texas is 3-0. You may be surprised to know. The average score, 37-11. Wyoming's average rushing yards, 70.
Oof.
Right, and that's the number there. Wyoming's going to have to run the ball. Now, in their projection, they have Wyoming running the ball for 170 yards. If Wyoming can run the ball for 170 yards, they will
keep it close
in the game, and that's the key. But we'll have to see. 70 yards is what we've done historically. Passing wise, historically, 221 passing yards.
221.
Crazy. I don't know how we got that high.
This computer model's insane.
No, this is not a computer. These are the stats. Yeah, these are the average from the last 3 games. One of those games is with Christensen, right?
2, I think, were.
Okay.
The game in Laramie, and then I think the return trip to Austin, I think, was Christensen too.
Okay. And then we must have played them another time. Let me see if Wyoming's got it in their thing. When's the last time?
Fun fact, the first game I went to in Laramie after I started the WyoNation website was against the Longhorns in Laramie. And that was the year that Colt McCoy was up for the Heisman that year, maybe.
Okay, so that was the first matchup then. So it was like 2006? 2005?
Oh, goodness, no.
No?
No. Well, no, because I moved to Montana in 2005, so this probably would have been like 07 maybe. No, 08, 9. I don't know. It's a long time ago.
I got you.
I still had hair then.
All right, that's neither here nor there. So the computer model from Oddshark is pretty interesting. And now we're just seeing that the Josh Allen-led Buffalo Bills are losing to the Jets.
That Jet defense is good.
And now Josh Allen is in a 2-minute drill, and they've got the ball over midfield.
But this is where Josh shines, you know.
As they look to get a field goal to tie the game and a touchdown to win the game.
He has played so horrible tonight. He has so many turnovers.
Let's see here. Oh,
Bad Josh keeps smashing buttons.
All right. Nobody wants to hear live commentary of a game that they're probably already watching or have watched. So we'll chime in here in a minute. We'll keep our eyes on it. 30 seconds left. Josh Allen in a 2-minute drill looking to at least get a field goal. So the Oddshark model, pretty interesting. We'll have to see what happens there. But we are now here for the Q&A is our main thing. So I got some questions from some of our loyal WyoNation followers, Brad.
Oh.
And let me get back onto my Twitter feed where I had them all teed up. And we will answer some questions. And there's some good questions. Most of them relating to Texas. So they're good. Good questions. Let me scroll down here and we will get started. Okay. Let's see. Must be the first one is right here. Okay. This comes from @PeytonSharoom. And he asks, Brad, his question is, if Wyoming stays competitive with UT, that would be the University of Texas, for those of you who do not know, and beats App State, that would be Appalachian State, whom we play the following week. Do you think Wyoming will be ranked going into the conference slate?
I think if they beat Texas, we would be ranked going into the conference slate.
Yeah, I don't
know. They'd slip. What? Well, you think about it. Like Texas Tech was ranked when they beat them. If they beat Texas, they're obviously ranked. I mean, two top 25 wins in the first 3 weeks. I mean, that should shoot you up into the top, like,
well, no, he's just 15. Saying competitive.
Oh, wait, competitive, not beat UT?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
so that would put us 3-1 with a close loss.
It's hard to tell because, like, I think this week, like, I think I saw, like, Washington State and, like, there was, like, 2 teams that kind of leapfrogged Wyoming this week. I think one of them was Washington State because they had a win over the ranked Badgers.
Yeah.
Then I think Minnesota maybe was another one that kind of leapfrogged in.
Okay.
So, you know, and they're not really getting any votes right now anyway, like just one from Reese Davis. But
Reese Davis was, like, drinking heavily or something and casting his vote.
So, yeah, I would say that probably I'm going to go with probably receiving votes.
Yeah, I agree.
The top 25 is just so fickle. Like it, you know, it's just kind of what happens that week, and without being able to, you know what happens that week, it's just such a fickle creature. I would say receiving votes at minimum, though.
Yeah, for
more
sure.
More than one, more than 3.
They'd be 3-1 with a loss to a top 5 team on the road.
Yeah, and a pretty good Appalachian State team too. So
yeah, they came off. Who did they beat this past week? And I saw the score.
I think they lost to North Carolina, but I can't remember if that was this week or the week before.
Look it up. So yeah, thank you for the question, but yeah, we think probably at 3-1, probably not going to get you ranked. Not Wyoming. We just don't have any. Right, we just don't have the
clout.
The clout. That's a good word. Yeah, I was looking for like the pizzazz, but the clout too. All right. Thank you for your question. And
they
he's
also
got another one.
Appalachian so far has beat Gardner Webb, FCS team.
Okay.
and lost to North Carolina. So
Okay. And
and
Wyoming played Gardner Webb
a few years ago.
15 years, maybe twice even.
And they have East Carolina coming up this weekend.
Okay. The Pirates. The Battle of the Carolinas. All right. He has another question, and this is actually a really good one. So listen.
Oh, good.
With Wyoming going to Texas this week, right? Does this add more fuel for the Pokes to perform with a chance to impact the state of Texas for recruiting, along with Wyoming, right, players from Texas and their future transfer portal opportunities? Right? So it's kind of, so he's basically asking, hey, is this an opportunity for Wyoming to make an impact in the state of Texas? And then is this an opportunity for Wyoming players from the state of Texas to get on the radar of a Power 5 team?
You know, that's a good question because, like, I think some of the scheduling is purposeful, and in this case, I think it's purposeful in the fact that they can go to Texas, play in Austin, and potentially be exposed to Texas high school recruiting. And I think we've got guys recruiting Texas anyways.
Yeah, of course.
So I think scheduling games like this is done on purpose for that reason, just to, hey, we play in Texas. So, we potentially, if you're worried about being, too far from home, hey, sometimes we play in Texas and, your family can come watch you play. I think that's kind of a selling point with some of these guys that, are kind of on the fence about, going to Laramie. And yeah, and, when you're playing on the road, or it doesn't really matter. I mean, guys are scouting games no matter where you're playing at. So there's always somebody watching and being like, hey, I think that guy would be great on our team. Let's see if we can offer him whatever amount of NIL money to come hang out with us next year. So yeah, I don't know if that really makes a difference or not, because guys are watching no matter what, like, with internet and TV being so prevalent that I don't think it matters. So that part of it, I don't think matters.
Holy mackerel. The Bills just blanked. I'm ahead of you.
Oh my God.
The Bills have tied the game. They're going to overtime. Is it Tyler Bass? That's his name?
Tyler Bass.
He just hit it off the left upright and it clanked in.
He had the right English.
I thought he missed it. I thought for sure it was going to bounce out, but it bounced backwards and in. And we are in overtime.
Wild.
All right. Yeah, so it does put that's a great question, because
I think it's a great chance to expose yourself to recruits more than anything. Like, I think that's
with the transfer portal too, it is kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah. And I don't know. Okay. Yeah, it's good to get in front of Texas recruits regardless. I mean, it's a pipeline for, most every state that wants players, or college that wants players. So
yes, because there's just so many programs and so many players down there.
And they take football very seriously.
Very seriously. Yeah.
I just saw this high school stadium that opened up this year. I forget where it was at, but it was ridiculous. It was like nicer than like half of all the FCS stadiums out there.
Yeah, there's stadiums in Texas way nicer than the War.
They're pumping in like, millions of dollars, and like $21 million, $30-some million on these stadiums. So what are you doing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here is a question from John Taylor at JD Taylor _44202. It's a pretty long one, but thank you for the question. He says, on-field temp in the 100s for Saturday?
Easily.
Be great if the wind starts whipping and some clouds roll in. Last time I was down there, it was unbearable in that corner of the end zone as we roasted through a tough loss. So bring up the old forecast for old Austin.
We are 89 degrees at kickoff at 5 p.m. It's 89 degrees in Texas.
Yeah, probably 100 degrees on the surface for sure.
Easily. Probably settling down around 80 by the time the game's over. So
a cool 80.
The sun will be down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, so I had because of our bowl trip, right? I still had like Tucson in my weather app. The other day I was just looking at it, and it was like 9 o'clock at night there, and it was still like 98 degrees. And I was like, oh my
Nope.
God.
Nope.
I was like, how could it be 98 degrees at 9 p.m.?
Nope.
Holy moly.
I get angry about 98 degrees during the day.
Yeah. But I thought that was I thought you get a kick out of that.
Ugh, gross.
All right, let's see here. We got a couple more questions, I do believe, if I can find them. Oh, no, they disappeared. Did the guy delete it? Thought he had a question for us. Hold on here. I think he deleted the question because I don't see it.
That's sad.
Oh, here it is one. And this is a good question, right? So this leads into our last question about the transfer portal. Well, guess what? Wyoming and Texas have a history in the transfer portal, unfortunately. And this comes from 307-81 at 307 Pine Beer Day. Oh, okay. He's got beer in his handle, so it can't be too bad. He says, do you think the Texas coaching staff will give former Cowboy Isaiah Naylor some reps against his former team?
Well,
let's see if he has any stats here.
In his game against Rice, he had 1 reception for 14 yards.
Okay, so I'm looking here, and that's all he has. He has 1 catch for 14 yards on the season against Rice.
No stats against.
Nothing against Alabama.
Yeah.
Let me see if he even played. Yeah, he didn't even play, according to the stats.
Is he? He's not hurt, is he?
I don't know, but remember preseason we looked at the depth chart and he was like 3rd.
Oh yeah.
I mean, again, so remember, kids, the grass is not always greener. He left a place
the
where
the cash is better though.
But the cash is greener. That's true. The cash is greener, but maybe not the grass.
They've got him right now at wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
Is the 3rd receiver.
Okay.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough move, right? And that's what you gotta show. Like you're gonna get paid, but you went from being the number 1 target at a team to now you might, right? He got a catch probably in garbage time against Rice. Let's go back to his stats here. And remember, at Wyoming, he had 58 catches. Oh, no, sorry. That's his freshman year, sorry. As a sophomore, 44 receptions, which is not a lot.
That's not known for throwing the ball.
Yeah. So he won't see that number at Texas, obviously.
No, and especially with the horns rolling right now, unless injuries happen, he ain't getting in there.
So will he get in the game? I say they will. They'll throw him a bone late and get him out there. And they may even put him out there in the first series. I don't know. I guess it just depends on how he's practicing. I don't know. But it'd be pretty hard to, right, in a culture and a team like that that's so competitive, to put a guy who's 3rd string to just get him out there just because. Yep. It doesn't seem like something that would happen. But I could see him late in the game. Sure. He'll get out there. No doubt.
Yeah, I was looking to see if he even had any stats in special teams, and I don't see any on here.
No, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at his game log, and they don't even show that he played.
No.
Did not play. Yep, he's got a DNP.
That's tough.
So, all right. I thought we had one more question, but the guy must have deleted it. But hold on, I don't know. He was asking questions. He had a good question. Let's see. It was something totally that sounded like me. Maybe he got, I don't know. Maybe he got cold feet and deleted it. I do not see it. Hold on here. Let's see here. Yeah, he must have deleted it. But the question was kind of like, hey, I'm not excited about any of this because we've been seeing this same stuff for all these years. Am I being am I a bad fan, or should I just be happy that we're, getting 6 and 7 wins and we're competitive?
Are you sure it wasn't you?
Was the gist of his question.
I think it was you.
No, I can't send that. It's not my burner account. I don't have a burner account.
Oh, that's a shame.
You know. But that was his question. Is, hey, am I a bad fan for saying, hey, shouldn't we really be doing more?
No, but college football is supposed to be fun, and we have fun moments with college football, obviously, and hanging out at the stadium on a Saturday afternoon. What else are you gonna do? You're not doing nothing. You could be out enjoying the outdoors, doing fishing, hunting, whatever you do, but you could also be watching football, and that's pretty rad.
And a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people go hunting instead.
They still got the game on the radio out there while they're in the hills, though.
That's true. And that is the beauty of, oh boy. And it looks like, oh my goodness. I don't know how
I think the
far
Bills are going
behind
to
me
start
you are.
0-1. Oh, no.
How about an overtime walk-off punt return?
Wow.
For a touchdown as the Jets take down the Josh Allen-led Bills 22-16. Maybe it was a pick. Hold on.
No, it was a punt.
It was a punt? Okay.
And there's no Aaron Rodgers either.
Yeah, he lost to Wilson from BYU. Ooh.
2 Potato Bowl MVPs, though.
That's true.
I stole that from the Sickos Committee Twitter.
They had that as the Potato Bowl MVP derby.
Yeah. I love the Sickos Committee. They're funny.
That's funny. So, I don't know. There's really not much I can say about the Texas game. In the past, you would say it was one of these body bag games, right? Like, just don't get killed. And that could still happen. We can still get a key person injured, is my fear. But physically, I think we can go in there and match them for the most part. It's just the skill positions, right, is where Texas is really just going to be all over us.
Skill positions and just depth in general. I mean, goodness, half of their second string would probably start for us.
Oh, sure.
They're loaded.
Yep, and that's NIL.
Yeah.
They said they're paying everybody. Like backup offensive linemen are getting like $50K a year. It's like insane.
Pretty good.
I mean, they're making more than a lot of people make in their day-to-day jobs. I mean, it's stupid, and I think it's going to get fixed, right? Everybody agrees about it. Even Bowl, if you listen to his call-in show to start the season, he talked all about it, and he said, hey, it's stupid, but that's the rule, how it is right now, and we just have to deal with it. But he was like, he's like, everybody in Washington agrees that it should be changed. And he said, that never happens. He's like, nobody in Washington agrees about anything. But they all agree that this current NIL setup is just a complete mockery.
Well, and, it's kind of funny. Clemson and Dabo Swinney, Dabo is very against NIL and transfer portal and all that stuff. And Clemson is suffering because of that. They are no longer a top tier program because of him not embracing it. And I saw some blurb earlier this afternoon from DJ Uangalele's dad, who's now at Oregon State. Something to the effect of like, you did this to yourself, man. Like you did this. And, you look at it and Oregon State and Clemson are kind of going opposite directions somehow. Future Mountain West member, Oregon State.
Maybe. And I think we'll leave that'll be a future show. We'll talk about conference realignment and all that. I think that'd be a good topic on a slow week. So we'll certainly talk about that. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about this Wyoming score, this game. I'm just, spitballing out there. I mean, I think Wyoming could cover if they could run the ball, but I don't have any. There's no proof to me until they do it that they're going to be able to run the ball consistently to keep it close. And I think they'll just pull away. I mean, the defense is good enough. They'll do okay. But I'm thinking like 35-10 might be like a best case scenario. I don't know if Texas will cover a full 28. They could if we turn the ball over, right? If we fumble and have a couple picks, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and who knows? I mean, the game plan could change completely this week with Harrison Whaley coming back, or so. I don't know. Maybe the game plan will be just to run the ball, and make the game as short as possible.
It's going to have to be.
Keep Texas out of the end zone.
And then, somehow keep them out of the end zone and hope you can. But I just can't see any scenario where Wyoming wins because they can't. Our offense is not good. I don't know. You can say what you want, but it's not going to put up enough points to beat a top 4 team on the road.
Yeah, tough task.
Unless the defense scores a couple times for you. But that's not going to sour me on anything because, A, this game doesn't really have anything to do with Wyoming's goals and objectives for this year.
Nope.
I would like to see college football getting away to where we get away from this insanely stupid scheduling philosophy where you schedule these games like 5 to 8 years in advance. As we saw in the COVID year, it can be done. You can schedule games within a year. I think the NCAA
schedule games within a week.
Yeah, exactly. I think the NCAA should say, hey, you can schedule games out for maybe 2 or 3 years. And I think we'd see better matchups.
Yeah.
And Wyoming doesn't need to be playing Texas right now. And I understand why we did it, right? Because the whole thing was get in the playoff. So when these games were scheduled, it was all about, okay, well, we as a Mountain West school, we can schedule these hard games. And if we win a couple of them, then that gets us a chance as an at-large bid in the playoff. But things obviously evolved over time, and now there's a guaranteed spot for a champion. That didn't exist when this game was scheduled.
So to your point, Wyoming is scheduled. They do have a game scheduled out in 2033.
Yes. That's insane. So 10 years, who is it?
Arizona at home.
We're playing Arizona in 2030. That's insane. Why are we scheduling a game out in 10 years?
Why are we scheduling New Mexico State out 9 years?
Yeah, exactly.
They were going to be there.
It's stupid. Yeah, they might not even have a football program by then.
Boy, we don't have anything for 2031, so.
Okay, well, let's get Alabama on the schedule.
Our dance card is wide open.
But I think pretty much everybody agrees that it's stupid, right? And then we can show, because guess what? College basketball is basically they do it all in one off season.
Yep.
Now, you might get some long-term games where you get like some home and homes. Maybe if you're a close team, you might schedule something out to say, hey, we'll play home and away on a rotating year for 4 years. You might get something like that. But for the most part, your schedule is made in the off season, and the scheduling practices in college football are insane. We have games scheduled out 10 years in advance. Craig Bohl's not going to be the coach in 10 years.
We already have UConn scheduled in 2029 and Idaho State in 2028.
Yeah.
Man, so, this is brutal.
And it's everybody, right? Everybody does it. It's stupid, and it gets you bad matchups. Again, Wyoming, it's not in their best interest to be playing Texas on the road at this point in time. And, same thing. I think what we said. We got Utah next year, or is it the year after?
Oh, boy. Next year, we start at Arizona State.
Okay, yep, that's it.
Home against Idaho, home against BYU, and on the road at North Texas.
There we go. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, again, I know people may have different opinions. And if you do, let us know. We'd like to hear your opinions about college football scheduling, but I think it's stupid.
I don't like that Idaho game on the schedule next year. That's a trap game.
It is, after they beat Nevada.
Badly.
So, all right. Well, we've already gone a little longer than I wanted, but we had a good discussion. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. They were good questions, and we appreciate them. Brad is on the road this week for work. We will see, if I'm able to watch the game on Saturday night. And if it's a blowout, I don't know if there's really much reason to do a show other than to have a bunch of rage, like unfounded rage. So again, no matter what happens in this game, Wyoming just needs to get out healthy and keep right, because it's all about the Mountain West schedule.
Mm-hmm.
The non-conference doesn't really matter because we're not battling for a playoff spot. We're not battling. We don't care if we get ranked. If the goal is, well, I mean, you know what I mean, right? We could lose to Appalachian State. We could lose to Texas, but we could still win the Mountain West.
Mm-hmm.
From there, you're not going to be ranked because you're going to have a bunch of losses, but really the goal is to win the conference. And this, you could argue that this non-conference schedule could actually help you do that
Mm-hmm.
because it's pretty robust. So I guess that's the flip side of us saying, hey, we shouldn't be playing these games. Maybe you can say, no, we should, because it's going to make the Mountain West games seem that much easier.
Yeah, and the Mountain West not looking particularly strong at the moment. I kind of think the conference is wide open right now.
It is wide open. Oh, and we forgot to mention that Boise State is now 0-2 for the first time in over 20 years.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
And let's hope they go 0-3. Let's see who they got this week.
And Fresno State had to go to double overtime to beat Eastern Washington.
I know, but that's a good program. You're kind of nodding your head, no? Okay. Let's look at Boise here really quick, and then we'll get off the air. Let's see who Boise's got this week. They're playing North Dakota.
Uh-oh. Wait. Regular?
Not state. Yeah.
Okay.
Not North Dakota State, just North Dakota. Formerly known as the Sioux. I don't know if they're like the Eagles now or...
They are the Fighting Hawks.
The Fighting Hawks. Okay. There we go. But then they do follow that up with a road game at San Diego State and then a road game at Memphis.
Memphis?
Yeah, that's a weird one.
That was a weird one.
So we'll see what happens.
Have fun with that.
So, all right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us. Brad, have a good work trip travel.
I'll be suffering greatly in wine country, so...
We will see you next week when you return. And we'll see. I'll let you guys know about Saturday night. Really kind of, I mean, if we get blown out, there's really no sense to talk about it. But we'll see. Hopefully we'll play it close, which is possible. Odd Shark thinks we're going to only lose by 2.
I hope they're right.
And if Odd Shark is right, once again, well, they won't be right because they predicted us to lose. So we'll see. So, all right. Any final words, Brad?
Nothing for me. Let's keep it. Hope it's a good showing.
All right. Yeah. A good showing and no injuries.
No injuries.
Yes, sir. All right. So for Brad Reed, I am Chad Smith. Thank you for watching the WyoNation Roundup. We will see you again in the digital streaming world soon.